we heard the input basically in the public comment section. I do think we should add, we have the petition in front of us, we should add to, next month's agenda to have a discussion on the pros and cons of doing that. Should we do it? And if so, potentially authorize Attorney Mills to, draft what's needed for that, if anything.
Could we ask Todd to give us some financial breakdown, because I know they did it on East Shore for a short time.
Right.
So we're not gonna have any discussion on this right now? Is that
Well,
what you're saying?
we-
I would really appreciate if we had a discussion,
Yeah.
instead of over 3 hours just to have
That's,
this.
well, and that's what I wanna say,
Yeah.
you may not like all of it, but I think we should at least have a little discussion on,
Yeah, I agree, I mean,
Don't mind
again,
those.
the notice is for the petition to be submitted,
Mhm.
okay? To take action on that without having the board even do any more research on it, the one person who talked to was me,
Right,
okay? I did bring up what happened in the other one, the East Shore one, okay? The safety car was thrown, and I did also hear that there's potential even some cost behind it, and again, they're not really that expensive. DPW would put them in, you know, in spring and take them out in fall.
well, you also mentioned that East Shore had them, if we already have them, what's the cost? I'd be happy to donate my own time
Why I
to do
was
it.
thinking
Well-
we really need our DPW.
Yeah, we have to look at, and again, the ones we had there, we probably will go against that version and probably go on, Booth Lake. Go look at theirs and see if that would be acceptable to you and others.
Just again, I'd be happy to even store them at my residence, I'd be happy to install them and take them off before winter.
It would be four pieces, it would really is, unless you want one in the middle.
It wouldn't make any difference, anything is better than nothing, again, I'd be happy to donate my time to help the community.
How many homes are on the street? One of the children at play sign?
No, there's not.
More?
There's
Well-
12 houses, there's probably about 15, 16 kids.
is it a dead end road or does it go all the way through?
It goes, there's a bunch of different ways you can go. Grassy is a dead end in the back.
Right.
So it's been a long time since I've been down Fairway, and I realized that children at play signs are not as much of a detriment as speed, thank you, as speed bumps, but are there any children at play signs out there now?
That's the one.
I mean, that's something we can do with
Correct.
speed bumps.
And there's shallow speed bumps that aren't like, I mean, the ones that they had from the hardware store that were like this, dear God.
That's
Right.
the one.
But that's the point of it, and that's what I'm wanting to.
Oh, even those shallow ones slow you down.
Well,
They, the blue ones at Blue Lake don't slow people down, they're doing
People speed
30
up
some
on
miles an hour.
those, it's easy on their
15 miles an hour.
suspension versus slowing down.
Now my suspension, I got a little Subaru in front of it.
Yeah, again, it's a trade-off. The steeper it is, the more effective they are, because it's traffic calming, which means you have to, or you're gonna lose your teeth in the suspension, okay? If you have the softer ones, like mentioned, you know, at Booth Lake, they sometimes tend to ignore them or race between them. Okay, we should have a shorter road there, so there's less chance of that.
Right.
So, but what I'm saying is, look at that version over there and see what you think of it, so you can tell us.
Absolutely.
Your
feedback.
The other thing that I need some information about is the, I don't know how many kids in the area ride bikes. I'm concerned that trying to go over a speed bump with a kid on a bicycle might cause some crashes as well.
I know it's not real research per se.
Oh, I know,
But they're,
but
like, the kids that do live in the area, they do stay more or less in front of their homes. Everybody is,
Okay.
they're young unless they are with their parents who will
Okay.
go for walks and whatnot. I mean, my daughter, she's 3, she can't ride a bike yet, but down the block there's at least 8 kids and they all just stay right in
Well,
front of their
I
area.
just remember going over the speed bumps that were on East Shore on my bicycle, and they were pretty
Treacherous,
treacherous, to say the least.
understandably so.
And it's, again,
There's
the
a
speed limit,
mailbox that stopped.
what is the speed limit sign at the bumps?
Well,
No,
not all of them.
At the bump, there's a sign,
It
5,
says 5 miles an hour.
which means that 5 miles per hour, you're not gonna lose anything, right? The ones we had, were probably 8 miles per hour, I think, on one, and, yeah.
So, I know that when we had talked about our speed bumps over here on East Shore, I'm here, I'm going to the bad guy. By Booth Lake, there's sometimes 150 kids all day long standing at that, there, and crossing that street. I also am a grandfather, I have a granddaughter, I have my daughter who was in my front yard when the snowplow came by, can't see that, and threw a basketball-sized granite rock, hit the bottom of my house. It actually pushed from my wall, it broke off the foundation. Now my daughter wanted to make the snowman, because it was a day off of school, it snowed. I want speed bumps, but I also have a hard time, we start doing this, our entire township is gonna be speed bumps after speed bumps after speed bumps. I said, I've had situations, I'm a grandfather, I have kids on our road, people come up, and I'm not saying just everyone from Illinois, there's locals too, but summertime comes, there's people flying past my house, and including in the past, has been DPW going over there. You know, and I live on a very small road, where you can barely get 2 cars
That's
past.
exactly like.
You know, so I understand where you're coming from, we're gonna become speed bump capital of southeastern Wisconsin. And I'm not trying to say things lightly for you, because I do understand the safety, maybe some signage. But we're gonna open up a can of worms here, and it's gonna be nonstop.
Is that the trade-off though, is opening a can of worms versus the safety of our youth?
No.
That's what I'm seeing here, is because that's what's important, that's what's.
Dogs can get hit, people fly down my road, I understand that, but.
The trade-off is a no-brainer for me, I could spend $1 million on speed bumps to prevent a kid from getting in my car. That's
Just
where I'm
telling
seeing
you,
it.
speed bumps also actually cause accidents if you start looking at the research, because we started looking at it for East Shore, and can actually cause car accidents. Because people, and not that people are abiding by the law, but if they're not, then all of a sudden the kids are in danger in the front yard because some
You know, if there are
person is going too fast, you know what I'm saying? There's research both directions. I'm just saying that.
Just advocating for.
I totally understand, I just don't want you to, I'm about safety, but I'm also about the reality of the
It goes
town.
back to the petition, everybody signed,
Mhm.
you know? Like, I'm not trying to
No,
ruffle
I-
feathers or argue or anything like that.
Makes a difference.
May I speak, Bill?
You don't.
First of all, I would like some data to substantiate the speeding suggestion, particularly by FedEx or the services, so I think the police should be engaged in doing some miles per hour. Although that could be tough, because I drove the road 5 times to try and get a feel for it and your request. You've got a curve.
That's my house, that blind curve, especially when my truck is parked there, nobody can see what's coming.
So you have a curve, and it seems to me as if you've saturated the awareness. So I'm guessing that all 12 residents don't have a problem with going 25, 20, or 15, because everybody knows everybody, because that's the nature of Fairway.
Yes.
So the 5 times I went down your street, 4 times, there was not a single person, not a single car. But then again, the one time Saturday morning, there were children walking on Fairway, there were children playing in the front yard. Seemed like an unusual concentration of people than what you normally see in the district. So while I don't know what we'll do in a month, I think we should get some information relative to actual speeds, if that can be done through the police department. And then, Commissioner Cook also always encourages us on the planning commission, we should all drive on Fairway and get an actual perspective on it before we come back next month and make some decision.
I would appreciate that, I would be extremely appreciative, I really would.
Alright, so we'll add that on, I think the research we already did is still applicable, and Chad is right. There is research that shows that indeed can cause, this is not an area where people are gonna come into it at 45 or 50 miles per hour, they're gonna come into it very slow. So there is a little bit of difference there, so.
Well, I did mention to you also that there is a posted speed limit sign at 25 miles an hour at the very end of Fairway, right on East Shore there. It is absolutely overgrown with trees, bushes, branches. If you didn't know it was there, you would never
Sorry, Jim, what did you want to
You
say?
can wait till next month. But the DPW definitely has to get on those
I was gonna say, if you
signs
see
with
signs.
branches.
I understand they have a full plate, I really do, I'd be happy to go do it myself, again, my,
No, you
my
can't.
safety, my family.
DPW would have to.
Should be a text or an email, I'll let them know,
And
cause they,
thank you for your patience, Tyler, but if there's a sign, just call us, let us know where
Yeah.
it is, and we'll get,
the guys out there,
That's good to know. This
unless
is
it's
an
at
informative
two,
meeting for me.
unless it's at 2:50 in the afternoon, they're typically out there same day.
Alright, I'll make it brief. Along Silver Lake in Economowoc, the speed limit is 25. Almost every resident that has their pier across the street has in their yard yellow recommended 15-mile-per-hour signs. And that seems to slow people down, even though that's not the official speed. But almost every single resident has one of those in their yard.
Were those provided by Silver Lake, Jim?
I doubt it.
Probably all just got together.
Maybe Town of Summit, actually.
Probably like
In
a
that
trail
area.
crossing sign.
Yeah.
That people just found their own.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move. Authorize attorney to draft letter to property owner for repair of 65 by 11 foot section on Bell School Road. I looked at it again, 2 months ago, 1 month ago.
Oh, yeah, it's bad.
It's at 65 foot by 11, which is basically 1 lane. And what happened there, the property owner that built the big ponds out on Bell School Road, near Honey Creek Road, I believe. He loaded up an $85,000 track backhoe onto his lowboy on the road. And it's like, are you kidding me? You know? And he said, well, it was only paid a month ago, that had nothing to do with it.
the motion is to,
So the actual, and we gave him kind of lenience last year, and said, he said he could find a guy that does all the repair work that could repair it. And the guy attempted it, and he actually made it worse. So, you know, it needs professional help, it's a brand new road, and the statutes are on our side, and I want the letter that, you know, should come from the attorney, so that's why I put that,
Well, authorize Attorney Mills to draft a letter to the property owner for repair of the 65 by 11 section on Bell School Road. Currently damaged.
Right, look for a second discussion, with none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, none.
I'll leave the details. What's the gentleman's name, what's the property location, what caused it. His pictures, that might be helpful.
Alright.
It's almost like-
Okay, attorney report,